In this learning video, students will discover how concepts related to band can be used to learn and understand about concepts related to biology, anatomy, and physiology. And remember, when we use our organized approach to learning, we've been taught that learning and understanding concepts will be less challenging. Recall the first part of our organized approach to learning involves observation. When we carefully observe this slide, we can see that there are really three structures on this slide. The most obvious thing we have are the instruments from a band. And then we have also a plant cell structure known as a chloroplast. This is a chloroplast. And then also we have an anatomic structure here. And what we're really interested in this anatomic structure, we're interested in the structures of the lung as well as the heart. We'll discuss these structures in a later part of the video, but for now we want to focus on the instruments from the band as well as the plant cell chloroplast. After we've identified the structures, we really want to define and explain their function. But let's discover how concepts related to band first can help us learn about concepts related to the chloroplast in cell biology. Notice how we have 5 instruments, and each instrument plays a role in creating music for the band or orchestra. Now notice how we have the structures of the plant cell chloroplast. Just as each instrument plays a role in creating music for a band or orchestra, each structure in this plant cell chloroplast has a function that plays a role in the overall function of the plant cell chloroplast. So you see how this concept of structure and function not only helps you learn and understand concepts related to band, but it can also help you learn and understand concepts or be used to learn and understand concepts related to a plant cell chloroplast. And for those of you who are thinking ahead, you can see how this concept of structure and function can also be used to help you learn about concepts related to the respiratory system as well as the cardiovascular system and anatomy. But the key takeaway from here is that we want you to be able to identify structures, and in a later part of this video we will define and explain their function. So let's take a minute to identify the structures that are involved, or the instruments involved in the band, and the structures of the plant cell chloroplast. As you can see, we have the clarinet, saxophone, the flute, oboe, and the bassoon. These are the woodwind sections of the orchestra or band, and each of these instruments has a role to play in the function or the music that the band creates. If we look at a basic outline or a basic structure of the plant cell chloroplast, you can see that we have the upper epidermis, which is right here. We have the chlorophyll layer, which is in the palisade layer, which is this layer here. We have a spongy mesophyll layer and a lower epidermis, which is this bottom part here. Then we have a little opening in the plant cell chloroplast known as a stoma, and 2 other structures here. Notice one is the vein, and then there's also an artery here. We'll talk more about these structures later. What we want you to do is to be able to identify these structures, and later we'll define and explain their function. And as we proceed through this lesson, you'll discover how the structures and functions depend on each other, and this is known as interdependence.